when analysing Chelsea's rise to the pinnacle of English football in the early 21st century, two crucial factors consistently emerge in conversations among seasoned football enthusiasts. The first factor revolves around the abundant resources of Roman Abramovich, the club's affluent owner, while the second centres around the polarising brilliance of Jose Mourinho. Undeniably, Chelsea owes a significant portion of its success to the combination of their wealthy Russian proprietor and their occasionally controversial Portuguese manager. However, it is important to recognise that trophies cannot be purchased outright. While Mourinho may be counted among Chelsea's most accomplished coaches, his triumphs only represent a fraction of the extensive period filled with accolades for the Blues. In a club where financial expenditures are made generously and managerial tenures bear resemblance to England's performance at a World Cup, it is the players on the field who prove to be the decisive element in any victorious team. Without a doubt, few individuals in the history of Chelsea have exhibited such decisiveness as Didier Drogba and Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard was the initial arrival in London, making the short journey from Upton Park in 2001 for a fee of 11 million, although Lampard had a decent but unremarkable start to his career at Chelsea. It was with the arrival of Mourinho in 2004 that he truly began to make a name for himself. The self-proclaimed special one had previously secured the UEFA Champions League title with Porto, relying on a resolute defence and a clinical attack. Among Mourinho's early signings at Stamford Bridge was one of the rare forwards who managed to outperform his all-conquering European champions. Didier Drogba's goal against Porto failed to prevent his own club, Marseille, from exiting the Champions League at the group stage. Nonetheless, his lethal prowess aided the French side in finishing third, securing a UEFA Cup spot. In the subsequent campaign, the Ivory Coast international continued to captivate Europe's elite, scoring against Liverpool, Internazionale and Newcastle United during Marseille's unforgettable journey to the final. Although Drogba's season concluded with a disappointing 2-0 defeat to Valencia, the newly crowned Spanish champions, there was no shame in losing to such a formidable opponent. Undoubtedly, the 26-year-old striker's remarkable skills had undeniably thrust him into the spotlight. Chelsea spent a staggering 40 million to entice Drogba away from Les Phocéens, and like Lampard, he proved to be an immensely valuable asset in the subsequent season. Lampard and Drogba contributed nearly 30 goals combined, leading Chelsea to a record-breaking league victory and amassing the highest points total in Premier League history at that time. Lampard emerged as the top goal scorer for his club, netting 19 goals in various competitions, including a crucial strike against Bolton that secured Chelsea's first top-flight title in half a century. In an extraordinary feat, Chelsea clinched the League Cup against Liverpool, with Drogba scoring the decisive goal in extra time, marking the beginning of his many cup-winning contributions. This triumph completed a historic double for the Blues, paving the way for further success. Lampard's goal tally rose to 20 in all competitions, with 16 of them occurring during the league campaign as Chelsea retained their championship. Such exceptional performances elevated the English midfielder to the ranks of the game's elite, earning him a second-place finish in the Ballon d'Or that year, with only Ronaldinho standing between him and history. Although the league title eluded the duo in the subsequent season, Chelsea continued to hoist trophies high, securing the FA Cup and League Cup. Drogba, outshining his counterpart in the goals department, finished the season as the club's leading goalscorer with an impressive 33 goals, including 20 in the league, earning him his first Golden Boot. Notably, Drogba played a pivotal role in Chelsea's cup double, netting 2 goals against local rivals Arsenal in the League Cup and partnering with Lampard to claim the FA Cup against Manchester United in the climactic final of the season. Deviating from the typical 3-season rule, Mourinho's Chelsea encountered difficulties in his 4th season, leading to his departure in February. Avram Grant assumed the reins and guided Chelsea to a strong finish, narrowly missing out on the league title by a mere 2 points behind United. Additionally, they reached the finals of both the League Cup and Champions League. Drogba etched his name in history as the first player to score in 3 separate League Cup finals, although Chelsea couldn't capitalize on his free kick as they suffered defeat against Tottenham. In the Champions League semi-final, the Ivorian forward delivered a brace complemented by a late Lampard penalty, propelling Chelsea past Liverpool and into their inaugural European final. The grand stage featured an encounter with familiar adversaries and reigning league champions, Manchester United, marking the first All-English Champions League final. After an intense first half in Moscow, Cristiano Ronaldo's powerful header was quickly nullified by Lampard's equalising goal. The match remained deadlocked at 1-1 until the final whistle, signalling the onset of penalties. However, before that, Drogba's blatant slap on Vidic in front of the referee resulted in his own dismissal. The game ended in a draw, and it was the infamous slip by John Terry that ultimately proved costly for the Blues. Drogba, who had been his team's leading scorer in Europe that season, must have surely believed that his red card played a decisive role in determining the game's outcome. The post-Moscow Blues lingered for Chelsea in the subsequent season as they navigated through another lackluster league campaign featuring 3 different managers. Nevertheless, the star duo of Lampard and Drogba ensured that the trophy collection at Stamford Bridge continued to grow, culminating in the conquest of yet another FA Cup at the season's end. Despite conceding the fastest goal in FA Cup final history, Lampard and Drogba both found the net in a 2-1 victory over Everton. Following a series of disappointing league performances, the Chelsea board decided to enlist the expertise of seasoned Italian manager Carlo Ancelotti, hoping he could handle the egos and restore Chelsea to the pinnacle of English football. Ancelotti fulfilled those expectations, extracting the best from both Drogba and Lampard as Chelsea stormed to a 3rd Premier League title, amassing a record-breaking 103 goals along the way. Drogba and Lampard, having their finest season in London according to the statistics, were major contributors, with nearly half of the team's goals coming from their partnership. Drogba concluded the season with 37 goals in all competitions, setting a new club record for a single season and earning another Premier League Golden Boot with 29 league goals. Meanwhile, Lampard, operating from midfield, astonishingly netted 27 goals, as Ancelotti astutely harnessed his knack for scoring by deploying him in various positions, including central midfield and even as a secondary striker. Drogba's goal in the FA Cup final against Portsmouth secured Chelsea's first ever league and FA Cup double. Ancelotti's second season concluded without any silverware, and he was subsequently replaced by Andre Villas-Boas during the summer. However, the hope that the young Portuguese manager would replicate his predecessor's success was short-lived, as Chelsea's inconsistent league form resurfaced to haunt them. Villas-Boas was dismissed in March and replaced by Roberto Di Matteo, whose appointment failed to improve Chelsea's league performance. As a result, the Blues finished 6th, marking their lowest league finish since 2002. Fortunately for Di Matteo, Chelsea's focus on cup competitions diverted attention from their underwhelming performance in the league. The spotlight was particularly on their impressive Champions League journey, where Lampard and Drogba showcased their expertise on the European stage. After a disappointing 3-1 away loss to Napoli, Chelsea faced elimination but managed to turn the tide with a remarkable 4-1 victory at home. Drogba opened the scoring at Stamford Bridge, and a penalty from Lampard put the Blues ahead on aggregate securing their advancement. The quarter-finals posed another challenge against Benfica, but Chelsea triumphed with a 1-0 win away and a decisive Lampard penalty in the second leg. A late counter-attack goal by Raul Meireles sealed a 2-1 victory for Chelsea. In the subsequent draw, Chelsea found themselves up against the formidable Barcelona, the reigning Champions League winners. Despite securing a stoic 1-0 win at Stamford Bridge, courtesy of Drogba, they fell behind on aggregate with Sergio Busquets and Andres Iniesta scoring for Barcelona before half-time at Camp Nou. Remarkably, Drogba and Lampard were absent from the scoresheet in Barcelona, but Chelsea overcame the odds with goals from Ramirez and the oft-criticised Fernando Torres, advancing to their second Champions League final 4 years after their defeat in Moscow. Prior to the final in Munich, Chelsea also clinched yet another FA Cup, with Drogba once again delivering the winning goal and becoming the first player to score in 4 different FA Cup finals. The journey continued as they travelled to Germany, facing the daunting task of preventing Bayern Munich from claiming their long-awaited 5th Champions League title on home turf. Recognizing the challenging circumstances, Di Matteo adopted a defensive approach, hoping to snatch a crucial goal as they had done in previous rounds. However, it appeared that the lack of attacking initiative might cost them as Thomas Müller's headed goal put Bayern in front with only 7 minutes remaining. Nonetheless, a corner in front of the Chelsea supporters presented a final opportunity to push the match into extra time. In cup finals, Drogba was known for his natural ability to dash towards the near post and head home crucial late equalizers. He displayed this talent once again, scoring his 9th cup final goal in as many games. The match entered extra time, and it seemed as though Drogba's mistake conceding a penalty would cost Chelsea. However, Peter Cech came to the rescue and saved the spot kick. Chelsea found themselves in the penalty shootout once more. Juan Mata missed the first penalty for the Blues, but every subsequent taker, including Lampard, successfully converted their spot kicks after Mata's miss. Cech made another penalty save, this time denying Ivica Olic, bringing Chelsea back on level terms. Bayern's Bastian Schweinsteiger hit the post with their penultimate penalty. Drogba stepped up to the spot with the opportunity to secure Chelsea's first ever Champions League victory and calmly dispatched the kick, crowning Chelsea as champions of Europe. That game turned out to be Drogba's final appearance for the club for 2 years, as he embarked on a journey across Europe before returning to play a minor role in Chelsea's League and League Cup double in the 2014-15 season. By then, Lampard had also moved on, having won an additional Europa League title and becoming the club's all-time top scorer in May 2013. The CVs of Frank Lampard and Didier Drogba boast an extensive list of records and trophies. When Chelsea secured their 8th FA Cup against Manchester United in the 2017-18 season, it marked their 17th title since Roman Abramovich acquired the club. Drogba and Lampard played pivotal roles in 14 of those titles, with 11 of them achieved while playing alongside each other. Time and time again, the outcome of Chelsea's seasons hinged on the goals scored by one of these two players, determining whether the campaign would be deemed a success or failure. Rarely did they disappoint, consistently leading the London club to silverware even during lackluster seasons. Their restless and unwavering desire to win ultimately defined their legacies at the club, as they jointly shaped a decade of unparalleled success for Chelsea